Croydon2040 is part of a project called Imagine Croydon. Over the last 6 months, the Imagine Croydon team have been asking people like you the question, what would you like Croydon to be like in 2040? This is a very difficult question to answer because it is difficult to predict the changes that will take place with things like technology. One way around this has been to ask people how much Croydon has changed since they were young. We have not just been asking what you want Croydon to look like. This is about more than buildings and parks. How would you like to feel about Croydon, and how would you like other people to feel about it? The idea behind Imagine Croydon is that if we set a vision for the future, we have something to aim towards as a place, and all the changes we make to Croydon over the next 5 or 10 years can all be made with the long-term plan in mind. Everyone who lives, works or studies in Croydon deserves the best, and real ambitious change can happen in the long term. Many of you have already told us what you think about the future. Whether you went into our Big Brother diary room style U-Cube, met us at the summer festival, wrote one of your postcards, or worked with teachers in citizenship lessons, here is what some of you have told us.
I love it. I think there's nice people here. I think there's a good atmosphere here, and I enjoy living here.
Well, I haven't lived in this area for about 4 or 5 years. I still come back.
I guess having a very strong identity and its own economic base, so that it exists within London but also outside London.
It's quite easily accessible. You can come easily. The local transports are quite good.
We love taking the tram. That's a really good start.
I'm very fortunate. I live in a very community-minded street.
Everybody works together.
I've seen more of everyone working together.
Well, I hope it's a place which will develop very well for young people.
I'd like to see like some more, like at least a recycling centre or something, so we have like more funding for recycling.
To be like a big tourist attraction.
I hope that Croydon will continue to attract businesses.
That we don't just build over Croydon, that we maintain our green spaces like Lloyd Park.
There's a lot of green spaces in Croydon, but it could also regenerate a lot of wasteland.
I kind of hope its image improves, because I think it's got an unfortunate image that it doesn't really deserve.
It's not perfect, there is a lot of bad, but there is a hell of a lot of good.
Oh, I think we've got to be very imaginative about empowering people.
You would probably have to make them feel that what they said mattered.
Maybe conducting these kind of interviews and basically taking a note of them and implementing what they say.
I don't think that they ask young people enough questions.
There should be more people going around to like schools and stuff asking what the people our age want.
We do have loads and loads of opinions.
Making public meetings more accessible, holding more regularly.
Do a survey. Do more things like this. Because everyone likes this.
A little bit more of this in the town centre.
Well, I think that what you guys are doing today seems to be a brilliant start.
You keep reading about all this idea of growth and development and you know, the big area beside the station, for example, and I know times are hard, but that it's all talk and no action is the biggest fear.
Hello and welcome to the first Imagine Croydon news bulletin. In the headlines this week, there are plans to tackle rising drug use with a new anti-drugs campaign aimed at 15 to 25-year-olds. The council have been considering introducing a free internet for all project which would see free Wi-Fi across the borough. And finally, with everyone being environmentally conscious at the moment, the council is considering making additional funds available for cycle paths and other cycle-friendly policies. The council are currently contemplating introducing an anti-drug campaign to be aimed at 15 to 25-year-olds. The aim of this scheme is to educate young people about the dangers of drugs and experimentation of drugs over a period of 2 years. If implemented, it would be commonplace to see posters and leaflets around Croydon with the anti-drug message. The scheme will also work on a personal level, which will see drug addiction counsellors visiting sixth forms in the borough. Tony Ayers, the local police chief, is in favour of this scheme, and we now have an exclusive interview with him.
There are national schemes in place, but this local project has our full support. There's a direct and clear correlation between reduction in drug use and reduction in crime, so we wholeheartedly support this scheme.
Not everyone is in agreement about this issue, as our reporter in the field shows.
Well, what I want to know is why the council are spending all my tax money on these things that aren't going to affect me. They should be out there fighting crime directly. I'm just not happy with it.
In other news, the council are also debating the introduction of free internet for all local residents. At the moment, Wi-Fi access is available in some areas from cafes and businesses. There are many educational benefits to be gained from free Wi-Fi, which some believe will be beneficial to students and school children across the borough. However, critics have argued that the price of broadband is falling and it is not necessary to provide this as a free service to all residents. We now go to local mother Rachel Aldu, who is eager for free internet to be made available to all residents.
I think it's great, particularly for my family. We don't have internet at home at the moment, so my son's got to go to the library after school. I don't get to see him, he gets back late, so it'll be really good for that. I get to spend more time with him, and as well, my younger kids as well, they'll be able to use it in the future. It's fantastic, I'm really pleased.
Although many residents welcome free internet as a step forward, there is still opposition to this move. Amy Tamson, who is a local youth campaigner, has this to say.
Although I think that free internet will be very beneficial educationally and for communication, I think that it's not a very good idea because it's good to have young people out there socializing. I mean, already we have the obesity level going up and young people closing themselves in and choosing to communicate through computers, and there isn't so much socializing going on anymore. And the introduction of free Wi-Fi in the borough would just encourage that lifestyle.
With the world looking to a greener future, the council have been discussing whether or not to introduce more cycle-friendly policies after a series of high-profile accidents in the last few months. This could see many more cycle lanes and an increased availability of bikes to hire at affordable prices. The benefits brought about by this include a reduction in air pollution and cleaner, safer routes for cyclists across the borough. Many parents are excited about the prospect of hiring bikes and taking their children out in the parks. We have Tilly Matthews, a local environmental campaigner, ready to discuss the issue. Over to you, Tilly.
I'm really glad that the council has finally started taking this issue seriously and is going to encourage cycling. It's great because it will help reduce air pollution and also encourage people to live a healthier and greener lifestyle, which is just what we want. By taking this step, they may set an example to other boroughs and encourage people to take it up, but I just really hope they go ahead with this action and help people who don't cycle yet take it up and get this incentive on the way.
There are those within the council, however, who are opposed to such a move. One council spokesman has announced that he believes money would be better spent on other projects which will help towards the development of the borough. Now we go to a list of all the teams involved in the game. That's all we have time for today. You have been watching the Imagine Croydon News Bulletin with me, your host, Nicola Nelson. Thanks for watching, and you stay classy, Croydon.